Going to start sharing my screen. Get this going. All right. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Great. A little bigger. There we go. All right. Then we are recording, correct?
We are.
Perfect. Okay. So I now call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Welcome to ANC1E's December general body meeting. A few administrative notes as we get started. Today's meeting is being recorded. Closed caption is available for each user by clicking the button on the toolbar below. Please submit questions through the Q&A function, also located on the toolbar below. Commissioners will be keeping an eye on the Q&A throughout the evening. If you're calling in rather than participating through the web, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Commissioner Jacobson was not able to join us this evening, so I will go ahead and do the roll call. So starting at the top, Commissioner Gallagher.
Present.
All right. Commissioner Lancaster. Commissioner Lancaster. All right, hearing none. Commissioner Ray.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Brown, who let us know that she was not going to be able to make it tonight. Commissioner Newland.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Jacobson also let us know that he was not going to be able to make it tonight, but just double check and see if he's. Nope. Okay. And then Commissioner Footer, that is me, and I am present. So with 4 commissioners present, we do have a quorum, so we can continue on. All right. So, per DC law, the ANC1E meeting was noticed to the community via listserv, social media, website, and e-calendar. Moving to the approval of the agenda. Tonight, I'll run through it really quickly. After we approve the agenda, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have 1 item there for approval. Then we'll move on to committee announcements, and we'll go through our typical routine of commissioners, then representative from Councilmember Nadeau's office and Mokers. Then we will go to official business. We'll start off with transportation, the Public Space Committee. There are no resolutions under that committee this evening. Then we'll move to Zoning and Economic Development Committee. There's 1 resolution there. Then we will go to Public Safety and Engagement Committee. No resolutions there. We have our annual report. And then under other business, we will take a look at a resolution around implementing Initiative 83, and then 3 honorary resolutions for some of the commissioners that will not be joining us next term. Is there any addition? Are there any additions to the agenda from commissioners? All right. Hearing none, I will accept a motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we adopt the agenda as written.
Thank you. Is there any dissent? All right. Hearing none, the motion passes and the agenda is adopted. Thank you very much. All right, now on to the consent agenda. Just a reminder, all matters listed under consent are considered by the commission to be routine and will be enacted by 1 motion. Any commissioner may, however, remove an item from the consent agenda by request. The consent agenda this evening consists of approving the minutes from the October. It was not a special meeting in October. Apologies. General public meeting. Are there any questions or recommendations to take the minutes off consent agenda? All right, hearing none, I will now accept a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we adopt the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there any dissent? All right, hearing none, motion passes and the items under the consent agenda are approved. All right, So now we will move on to community announcements. Commissioners and members of the community can use this time to make public announcements, distribute information, or alert the community about issues. We'll start with commissioners, then move to Councilmember Brianne Nadeau's office, then the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services, also known as MOCRS, then members of the public. All speakers will have 3 minutes. Any commissioners with announcements, please raise your hand, or do any commissioners have any announcements? Commissioner Ray.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and do the Bruce Monroe thing here since it wasn't really in the committee. As many are aware, the Bruce Monroe site is part of the Park Morton redevelopment, and the council very recently enacted an extension amendment to the Bruce Monroe land use agreement with the development team. And by doing so, they give the development team another, I think, 2 years, maybe 3, to finish the construction at the site. That was approved, and in doing so, construction and permitting issues can start to move forward. I did go ahead and contact the development team to kind of get a general sense of what the timeline is going to be, and if someone that's listening here wants me to send them that timeline, happy to do that. But basically, it is going to take another year for them to start working through community engagement and the permitting process. Now, the community engagement portion is for the park, and the park is a separate parcel now. It's been segregated out and is not part of what is being handed over to control for the development team. So the park will remain under DPR, and DPR will run a process with the community to find out what folks would like to see in the park in terms of amenities. And then they will, use their budget in order to put that into place. And part of the timeline that I received did say that the DPR should begin construction and finish construction of the new park before the development team starts on the construction phases of their portion. So the park would actually be ready and available. That I think is new. I don't know that, we'd always said that there would be a portion of the park available, but to have an actual finished project before construction starts with the rest of the team is new. So at least I think it is. So I think that's good news because it will certainly make sure that amenities are available. And it also means that the development team won't be using any portion of the park for any kind of staging or anything like that. It means it's totally, it'll be off limits. So if people have questions, feel free to reach out to your commissioners or to me. Do be on, there is a list that the council member has started. You could contact the ANC, go to our website, get on our list, but you can also go to the council member's office, be on her list, so that you will get notice when DPR wants to start having meetings about the amenities. So making sure that everyone is aware, but it will take some time before you really see that start, but it should happen starting in 2020. The process should start in 2025. That's it.
Thank you. And one thing just to add to that is the community members, and I heard this specifically during testimony before the council, did ask about the opportunities to do something with the park before the building was constructed and all that, so that there was something, it was an amenity that the community can use. So it sounds like the DPR and the city were actually able to meet that request from the community, and that's really great to hear. Let's, if you don't mind, Commissioner Ray, do you mind just putting a link to our website again, just a place where they can actually go and sign up for that listserv? And then
Sure.
Estelle McKinney, who is the representative from Councilmember Nadeau's office, when we call on you in just a moment, if you don't mind maybe sharing the link to get on your listserv as well, maybe we can proactively send that out too. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Commissioners, anything, or any other commissioners have any announcements? Commissioner Newland.
Thank you, Chair Footer. Just a brief announcement that we're doing, for those who aren't aware, ANC Winnie partners with some local organizations to do neighborhood cleanups, and our next cleanup is going to be this coming Saturday, December 7th. at 11 a.m. And this is through a partnership with Georgia Avenue Thrive. So it is going to be at the intersection of Morton and Georgia Avenue, and it is sponsored by Sweat DC. So if you come help us clean up for a little bit, you can get free coffee and a week of classes for anybody that volunteers.
Cool.
Sorry, Commissioner Yellen, what time does that begin?
11 a.m. this Saturday, December 7th.
Thank you.
Great. Any other announcements from commissioners? Right, seeing none, we will now move on to Estelle McKinney. And I have your name in here incorrectly. I apologize. It says McCartney and it's not.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, yeah, no worries
Hello.
about it. It's,
Sorry
it's
about that.
like the fashion of McCartney. And so anyway, but I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I'm Councilmember Nadeau's Constituent Services Specialist, and I wanted to share some legislative and community updates with everyone. So Councilmember Nadeau has been working hard to use her committee's oversight of DPW's Parking Enforcement Division and the Department of For-Hire Vehicles to improve road safety. So recently, this has included her bill on counterfeit license plates, getting control over food delivery, and cracking down on an illegally operating ride-hailing service. So first, this week, the DC Council passed Councilmember Nadeau's bill aimed at combating counterfeit and obscured license plates. This legislation allows for the immediate towing and impoundment of vehicles with fake or altered plates. Grants the DC Attorney General the authority to investigate and shut down dealers of counterfeit tags. And this bill will receive its final vote on December 17th. And so vehicles with counterfeit tags are often involved in premeditated reckless driving, which is a serious concern for our road safety. And so this legislation is a critical tool to address this issue and make our roads safer for all DC residents and visitors. Second, the DC Council also passed a bill to better regulate food delivery services, which have exploded in growth in recent years. Councilmember Allen introduced the legislation, and Councilmember Nadeau successfully moved it through the Committee on Public Works and Operations. This bill empowers the Department of For-Hire Vehicles, also known as DFHV, to oversee food and parcel delivery services, enforcing traffic laws, and ensuring safety. The legislation also requires delivery vehicles and drivers to display clear company logos, enhancing both public safety and street enforcement by DFHV. So as delivery services become more integral to our economy, the need for oversight and regulation becomes more urgent, similar to the regulation of the ride-hailing services. So this bill addresses the need for accountability and safety in an evolving industry. Lastly, on November 26th, a DC Superior Court judge ordered Empower to cease operations, and Empower is a ride-hailing app that's similar to that is like Lyft and Uber, but not so much because they have been operating illegally in DC. And so the judge has ordered for them to cease operations until it registers with DFHV as a legal for-hire service. Empower had already been ordered to stop operating, but had racked up millions of dollars in fines for noncompliance. And Councilmember Nadeau issued a statement reinforcing that the priority is protecting drivers and riders from unscrupulous practices. So her Committee on Public Works will continue to investigate this matter. And I want to share another legislative update not related to road traffic safety. So there will be new standards for soundproofing in mixed-use areas. So on November 26th, the council passed Nadeau's legislation establishing soundproofing standards for new residential construction in mixed-use and in entertainment districts. The goal is to protect the cultural musical heritage of neighborhoods while minimizing disruption for residents. This bill is a win for both the music community and homeowners. There's also a companion bill called the Amplified Sound Mitigation Act, which was passed yesterday by the council. And this bill established limits on decibel levels for amplified sound, such as street performances, and creates a non-MPD enforcement process. So this bill helps balance the needs of vibrant artistic communities with the peace and well-being of local residents. Lastly, some community engagement and upcoming events. Last week, I organized a vacant and blighted property walk in the Parkview neighborhood, and thanks to all the neighbors, agencies, and commissioners for their active engagement on this issue. We identified several properties in need of immediate action from the Department of Buildings and Department of Health who were on the walk with us, such as road embayment in the yards and boarding up of one of the vacant properties that was otherwise not boarded up. That was definitely a safety hazard. And this walk was also an opportunity to discuss the upcoming legislation, including the Vacant to Vibrant Amendment Act, which adopts measures to prevent vacancies and creates tools for the government to transition long-term vacancies back into productive use. And lastly, the next Brienne on Your Block event will be next Thursday, December 12th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Ethiopia Eatery along the U Street corridor, which is a new Ethiopian restaurant. It's very great. And this is a great opportunity to meet one-on-one with Councilmember Nadeau to discuss any neighborhood concerns or provide feedback on ongoing legislation. So thank you all for your continued engagement and on these important issues, and have a great holiday. And thank you all to the commissioners who will no longer be with us next year. Thanks.
Thank you. Estelle, do you happen to have a link for how people can sign up for the council members listserv with respect to getting information around Bruce Monroe?
Yes,
And then,
I can't send it to everyone though. It just says hosted panelist. But
Commissioner Ray, do you mind just
Yep, I'll
forwarding
take
that
care
on?
of it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And it's at the bottom. When you click on this link, it will be at the bottom of the page.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course.
Are there any questions for Estelle? All right, seeing none. Estelle, thank you so much. Have a great holiday. All right, and next up we have Anthony Robertson with Mokers. How are you?
Hello, hello. How you doing, Commissioner Brown? How everybody doing? I have a few updates from the mayor's office. One is an invitation for all of the commissioners, first of all. On the 12th, the mayor will be holding the annual event at the Wilson Building. And it's a ticket-only event, but we have tickets for the commissioners. So I'll be sending that via email to everyone. Also, that I would like I spoke about this earlier, but starting with this meeting, I'm going to send an email to every commissioner and ask the top 3 issues in your SMD, and then on the next meeting, and I know unfortunately, some of y'all won't be here, but on the next meeting and every meeting following that, we'll do an update as to where we're at with those issues and if they got resolved, and just how we're going to come along with that. Also, it's about to y'all know it's getting cold. We have the snow teams that are coming out today. They're gonna treat the streets. I think they're starting at 4 o'clock because the weather supposed to drop. 4 o'clock in the morning. The DPW will be treating the streets starting tonight. And that's basically the updates I have right now. Is there any questions? Anybody have anything? All right then.
Commissioners, any questions? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
Anthony.
Yes.
All right. We'll now move on to members of the community. If you have a question, you'd like to raise your hand, and we will call people in the order that we do receive them. If you are joining us via phone and rather than online, you can raise your hand by dialing *6. I'm sorry, *9. And when we call on you, you can dial *6 to unmute yourself. With that, I will ask that if you are joining us this evening in order to talk about a topic that is being under official business, a resolution, I do ask that you wait. There will be ample opportunity to provide any comments or questions around that resolution when we get to the official business. With that, I see that we have Teresa Edmondson, who has raised her hand. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I am here to remind the commissioners that you are invited to the first, this is the inaugural ANC holiday reception. External Affairs, that would be me, put together a reception with President Vincent, and he has confirmed his availability. We are expecting him at the 326 T Street, which is the Mary Church Terrell House in LaDroit Park, which the university renovated. And so this reception will also be the first public gathering, and you all will be the first to see. You're going to get a tour. Derek will be there to give tours of the building and to also mingle with the president. I thought, why not? And we are in front of you all so much. You are our SMD, Central Campus, and I just thought that this was a good thing to do, because ANC commissioners do hard work, and you're not celebrated enough. So I really am looking forward to you all being there. It's Wednesday, a week from today, 326 T Street, Northwest, the Mary Church Terrell House, and that is from 6 to 8 p.m. Okay?
Amazing. Thank you. I have already RSVP'd. I cannot wait.
I know you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, and to the commissioners who are not returning, thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Commissioners,
Teresa.
any questions for Teresa? All right. Thank you, Teresa. Appreciate it.
Sure. And 1B is will be there as well. So it's 16 commissioners altogether. 1E and 1B.
Great.
You bet. You bet. All right. I'll see you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Any other members of the public that would like to raise your hand in order to make an announcement, comment? All right. Seeing none, we will move right along. All right, now we move on to official business, which has been organized into our 3 standing committees. The committee chairs will begin by providing a brief update on their committee's activities from November. Then we will walk through each item of business, and the speaker will have 5 minutes per item to present. They'll take questions from commissioners and then members of the audience until we have a motion to move the resolution on. With that, we'll start with Transportation and Public Space Committee. Again, Commissioner Jacobson was not able to join us this evening. I did ask him if he had any specific announcements for today, and he said the only thing to remind people about is that the crosstown bus priority for Columbia Heights is in progress, and the DDOT, there's a link to DDOT website to not only gain some more information, but provide feedback and get more involved. So highly encourage people to do that. And Commissioner Ray, do you have access to that link? Do you mind putting that in the chat for people as well?
I don't know if I do, but if it's on the website, I'll find it while we're chatting and get it up there.
He texted it to us. Then grab it from that chain.
Yeah, I'll look for that.
Perfect. Thank you. And with that, the committee will not be meeting in December. As we've been alluding to, this is the last ANC meeting for 1EE for the calendar year and also for this term. The committees have the discretion to decide if they are going to host committee meetings in December. And the Transportation and Public Space Committee is not holding one in December. And so the next time they will be meeting is Wednesday, January 8th at 7 p.m. And more information can be found at the on our website, which is located right here. Thank you very much for putting that in there, Commissioner Ray. All right, so moving on to Zoning and Economic Development Committee with Commissioner Ray.
We did have a meeting, and that meeting, I'm sorry, no, just making sure I wasn't muted. That meeting focused on one presentation. There were no votes taken. The presentation was from Howard University, and they are making plans to use one of the parking lots as a temporary swing space for one of the laboratory buildings on campus. So as the laboratory is being renovated, they will use temporary trailers in the parking area between Sherman Avenue and, is that 8th or 6th, Chairman Footer? It's basically between Banneker Recreation Center and Sherman Avenue. I'll just say that because I'm never quite sure what that address is. That's the parking lot there will be used as the temporary swing space. It's currently it has some swing space in that general area already, but this will expand how much of it is going to be used in that manner. We did talk a little bit about ways in which, and this isn't a done deal. I mean, they're just beginning the process. So this was a initial presentation. We did talk a little bit about adding some additional screening because those temporary trailers are not necessarily, as aesthetic as a permanent building would be. So we did talk about trying to add some additional screening and art, not so much art, but something to show that it's Howard University property and it's being used as the university. So they have a whole team that deals in graphics and the way the university presents imagery. So they would, use that for that kind of screening. So they're going to work on that. They were also going to be working on that lot is used by some of the local businesses under agreement with the university. So they are also working on how that would move forward as well in a way that still, works for the people that they have contracts with. So more to come. They will come back as they move that forward. This was just like their first discussion of it, but more to come. Other than that, there were no BZA or zoning cases that we had to hear, and there probably won't be any until next year, which is why we're not having a meeting this coming the rest of the term. That's it.
And just as a agenda item for the next committee meeting in January, David Meny will be joining to come and get some feedback and give some more details about the new legislation that the council member has proposed. That's an expansion, I believe. I haven't read the full text of it, but an expansion of some of the efforts that she's doing with the increased parking fees in the geographic area of U Street and going a bit more north. And so there will be an impact in 1A, 1E, and 1B. So he's making the rounds to get some feedback on the new legislation between December and January.
Very good. And then this resolution supporting the Vacant to Vibrant Amendment Act of 2024. I think you assume you're going to talk about that?
Yeah. Put that up now. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Great. So this is a excuse me. This is a follow-up resolution to something that we passed back in July of 2023. Essentially, the city council, the chairman had put together a task force that was starting to look into ways that they could reform the way that we handle blighted and vacant residences and commercial spaces. And this is essentially an endorsement of some of the outputs that had come from that 1.5-year long effort And while we are very happy with the progress that was made in the Vacant to Vibrant Amendment Act of 2024, we still urge the City Council to continue to expand on the act and strengthen it through a couple of activities. I think the key takeaways here is really following up on some of the things that we had in our July of 2023 resolution, trying to provide opportunities for local residents to have a priority when things go into a tax sale. Similarly for commercial spaces, to allow district businesses and people who are maybe established themselves and are looking to purchase property have some sort of priority in doing that, and to strengthen some of the enforcement mechanisms that are out there in the codes to be able to really put some teeth behind the act. So it's a bit lengthy. I'm happy to kind of stop talking if anybody wants to ask any questions around it. But this was a joint, I will just add, this is a joint effort. There are a number of commissions that are across the city that are passing similar resolutions. 1A passed something, we are passing something, I believe 1B has passed something. And I believe the other ones will do it sometime soon if they haven't already. But this is a great effort that Commissioner Jeremy Sherman has been doing for about 1.5 years, and happy to support all the work that he's been putting together. Any questions? I see Commissioner Gallagher reading, so I'm gonna give another pause. Please take your time. Read away, my friend.
As I tend to do, Chair Footer, just checking versus I think what I read yesterday. I am satisfied. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, if there are no questions from commissioners, I will go to members of the public. If you have any questions with respect to the resolution supporting the Vacant to Vibrant Amendment Act of 2024, please feel free to raise your hand and I will call on you in the order which we receive it. And I do see that we do have some people who are calling in rather than joining us via web. And so if you are interested in raising your hand, you can do so by dialing *9. All right, seeing none. If there are no further questions, I'll now accept a motion to adopt the resolution supporting the Vacant to Vibrant Amendment Act of 2024.
I make the motion that we adopt the resolution as written with unanimous consent.
Thank you very much. Is there any dissent? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is adopted. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, going back to the agenda. All right, Commissioner Ray, anything else?
That is it. The next meeting will be in January. We listed there as January 15th at 7 o'clock. Assuming that I will be, well, actually, so for the 15th, I'll still be the chair,
will be.
and you'll all decide if I'll be the chair going beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, we move on to Public Safety and Engagement Committee. Commissioner Newland.
Thank you, Chair Footer. We did have a meeting last month, but we didn't vote on any resolutions. Nothing solid came out of it. We just kind of discussed 2024 in review, things that worked well, things that didn't work so well, and then did some initial discussions around goal setting for the coming year. And we will be meeting this month. Our next meeting is on Monday, December 9th at 7 p.m. We're going to continue the 2025 goal setting discussion because we got some really good ideas in that initial conversation last month, and looking forward to having some more That's all I have.
Great. All right, commissioners, any questions? Right, hearing none. All right, we will move on to administrative business. So every year, we're required to submit an annual report. One of the things that we like to do on 1E is to formally adopt the report through resolution form, post it online, and take a moment to just kind of reflect on some of the stuff that we've been up to in the calendar year. So I'm going to share my screen and pull that up. So the key highlights here are that we had a full commission for all 12 months in 2024, which is great. And we maintained our regularly scheduled monthly meetings on the fourth Wednesday of the month, with the exception of November. We did have, we planned to take 2 months off, which were August and November this year. And we, in the end, ended up having one special meeting. So we had the 10 regularly scheduled ones, and then we ended up having a special meeting in August. So we had a total of 11 meetings in the calendar year. Doing some analytics on 311 requests between January 1st and November 30th. The community 1E and the community submitted 6,453 311 requests. It is a decrease of about 418 requests. And I do want to just say that in 2023, one of the proud moments of the ANC was being able to capture the vast quantity of Commissioner Gallagher's 311 paloozas and community walkathons and all of that. And so, moving into next year, we look forward to engaging Commissioner Gallagher again and trying to get the 311 requests up again, maybe surpass the 418 to maybe like 600,000. I believe in Commissioner Gallagher's strong efforts that he's already demonstrated, and I'm hopefully laying it on real thick. Commissioner Gallagher.
Oh yes, as soon as Councilmember Nando's fake tag legislation passes, I'm ready to go. We can exceed the entire 2020. I can look out the window of my house and see multiple cars with fake tags. So I am ready. I am ready to leave the starting gate on that one, even if I'm not the commissioner. Thank you.
I will say that all passed yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Yeah, so it all passed yesterday. Obviously, it has to go into effect, but it's ready when you are, sir.
Nice. And on that note, I did take a screenshot of the top 10 services and, just to highlight a couple of things, bulk collection, parking enforcement. So clearly Commissioner Gallagher, meter repairs, trash collection, illegal dumping. So it's been a very productive year. All right, and then just looking at the activity of the commission itself. So we hosted 11 special guest speakers this year. That is up from 8 from last year, and I'm very happy to seeing that number rise. I really tried to make an effort to try and get some people from across different agencies in the community to come and kind of present and help inform the commission. So we'll continue to do that again next year. And then we approved 37 resolutions and letters. And this is the breakdown of it coming from the different committees. And then we had this year 3 applications for grants and sponsorships, and it was a total providing $5,800 back into the community for events benefiting residents of ANC 1E. The rest of the report really just outlines who those special guests were, the resolutions, what was also included in consent agendas, which is not part of this total resolution letter count. And so if there's more information that people would like to see, this will be posted on our website and filed with the Office of ANC. Any questions with respect to the annual report? Any additions, edits, anything? Good. It's our second report. All right. I'll turn to members of the community. If there are any questions with respect to the 2024 annual report, please feel free to raise your hand. All right, seeing none. If there are no other questions, I'll now accept a motion to approve the ANC 1E's calendar year 2024 annual report.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we approve ANC 1E's calendar year 2024 annual report.
Thank you very much. Is there any dissent? Hearing none, the motion passes and the report is adopted or approved. Thank you very much. All right, next, I'm going to pull up the agenda again. We're going to move on to another resolution. I'm actually just going to go straight to the resolution. So next we have a resolution supporting the implementation of Initiative 83. Commissioner Ray, I know that you and Commissioner Jacobson had been working on this previously. I added a bunch of stuff in the last couple of days. So do you want to take it? You want me to take it? I'm happy to do either.
I'll start off, and you can then, if I miss anything or you've added anything particularly of interest, then we can do so. As many of you know, Initiative 83. Well, I'm going to start with ANCs are barred from really commenting on initiatives because they are in effect campaigns, and so we can't. At the time when something is going to end up on the ballot, we can't really delve into them and talk about them on any kind of official capacity because we can't use government resources for or against any particular campaigns. But now that Initiative 83 has passed, many of us on this ANC and others around the city were very much in support of this initiative because of its ability to give voters an opportunity. I'm sorry, I see a typo as I'm saying all of this.
First, please, where?
Yeah, first paragraph, residents of Washington is misspelled. Gives us now the opportunity to rank choice vote those people who are running for any particular office. And this really, comes into play when you have, let's say 20, like I think Ward 2 at one time had almost 20 people running for the seat. And so rather than end up with one candidate who happened to get 15% of the vote, and that 15% of the vote was the top amount of votes in the race, you'll now be able to rank your top number of candidates, and then as candidates fall to the wayside because they have the fewest number of votes, your second choices, third choices, fourth choices will then be recycled up into those counts until someone actually gets 50%. That way we have at least some idea that the person who won is the person who the most people in that election wanted to see win the election. So this is one way to do it. There are, of course, other ways. But Initiative 83 passed overwhelmingly. As we say in here, it's more than 72%, probably 73%, I think it is now that it's been registered or certified. More than 73% of voters in this past election voted for this. It won in every ward. It won in every precinct. So there really is almost no question that voters of DC are interested in seeing ranked choice voting. There was a separate initiative, or a separate portion of this initiative is on opening primaries for independents. It's not an open primary. I see some people say that sometimes. It is allowing people who are registered with no particular party or independent to then come forward before the election, say which party they plan to vote in, and then it would allow them to participate in a way that they have not been able to participate in the past. As many of us know, the primary is really where the winner of the election is chosen. And if you have a job, and many people in Washington, D.C. have jobs that do not allow them to register with a particular party, this would now allow you to do that. It represents roughly 14,000. I believe it's currently about 14,000 people. Not all of them are going to choose to do this, but This will now give them an opportunity to participate in primaries in a way they have been otherwise not allowed to do. So that being said, if you're a Republican, you still only can vote in the Republicans. If you're a Democrat, you only vote in the Democrat. It doesn't technically open the primaries all the way. Anyway, so the more important part of the reason that this is coming to the ANC now is that it must be funded. By the CFO report, something on the order of about $1.5 million over 4 years is necessary to implement this new law. We have to make sure that the council, first, we have to make sure that the mayor goes ahead and includes it in her budget. If for some reason she would not include it, then the council should include it, but hopefully she will include it and the council will leave it in place, and that the law will be able to be funded and go into effect with the next coming election cycle. So that was kind of longer than I was hoping. But I think I covered some of the big stuff, and I'll let Chairman Footer take it from there.
The only thing I'll add to that is that the 1.5 million over 4 years is really going to focus on 3 specific things: voting infrastructure updates, voting education campaigns, and that really, I think, is the bulk of what the funding is for, and then administrative trainings that will prepare officials overseeing the elections to be able to execute on it, those kinds of things. And that, you know, there are a number of cities that do this, in particular large cities like New York City, San Francisco, and I believe Minneapolis is another one. And that 7 states have open primaries and for unaffiliated voters. And so as Commissioner Reid mentioned, you know, the resolution really is just calling on the mayor first to include it in the FY26 budget, and then asking the DC Council to ensure that the funding either remains in there or is added, and emphasizing that these are the 4 specific kind of priorities, or emphasizing the importance of these 4 activities to fund. And that's it. Commissioners, any questions with respect to resolution? All right, hearing none. Members of the public, if you have any questions or comments with respect to the resolution supporting the implementation of Initiative 83, please feel free to raise your hand. All right, hearing none or seeing none. If there are no other questions, I'll take a motion to approve the resolution supporting the implementation of Initiative 83.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we approve the resolution supporting implementation of Initiative 83.
Thank you very much. Is there any dissent? All right. Seeing and hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is adopted or approved. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now, the next 3 resolutions I'm very excited to be able to present. I am going to start with, we're going in order of SMD. And so I am going to read these out loud. So this is a resolution honoring our dear friend, Commissioner Bradley Gallagher, for his service to the ANC 1E community. And the resolution reads, whereas Commissioner Bradley Gallagher has faithfully served as the Commissioner for Single Member District 1E01, representing the neighborhoods of Parkview, Pleasant Plains, and Howard University since February 17th of 2023. And whereas Commissioner Gallagher has been a tireless advocate for his community, addressing key issues such as fake license plates and abandoned vehicles in the district, enhancing neighborhood safety, and improving quality of life services. And whereas during his tenure, Commissioner Gallagher served as the Zoning and Economic Development Committee Chair of ANC 1E and successfully sponsored and co-sponsored numerous resolutions, including those addressing zoning adjustments to promote equitable development and requesting infrastructure improvements, such as additional trash bins to maintain public cleanliness. And whereas Commissioner Gallagher coordinated and led multiple community walks and 311 campaigns that resulted in hundreds of 311 service requests, ensuring timely attention to community concerns, and has built strong partnerships with local agencies to advocate for transparency and community-first initiatives. Whereas Commissioner Gallagher's commitment to keeping residents informed and encouraging civic engagement has strengthened the relationship between the ANC and its community members, fostering an inclusive atmosphere where all voices are heard and respected. And whereas Commissioner Gallagher's public service goes far beyond formal resolutions and 311 requests, as he has shown genuine care for his constituents by being accessible and available to assist with both personal and community concerns. And whereas Commissioner Gallagher's kindness, approachability, and dedication to helping his neighbors exemplify his character and commitment to his role as a commissioner. Therefore, be it resolved that ANC1E formally recognizes and expresses its deep appreciation to Commissioner Bradley Gallagher for his exceptional service, his leadership in ANC1E, and his unwavering dedication to improving the quality of life in the neighborhoods he represented. Further, be it resolved that ANC1E acknowledges the lasting impact of Commissioner Gallagher's contributions and celebrates his legacy as an advocate for the community. Further, be it resolved that ANC1E recognizes Commissioner Gallagher for his work building a foundation for future commissioners and community members to continue fostering a vibrant, inclusive, and resilient neighborhood. Are there any questions? Commissioner Gallagher.
Chair Footer, I am deeply honored by your proposed resolution. I very much appreciate it. I think it really just underscores the leadership that you have shown this new commission over the past 2 years. So really, I have to thank you. Really flattered. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and you will be deeply missed, and thank you for everything that you've done over the past 2 years. It's been so much fun working with you and seeing all the vast improvements that you've been able to do in the communities. Thank you. All right. If there are no questions, I'll accept a motion to adopt the resolution honoring Commissioner Bradley Gallagher for his service to the ANC1E community.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we adopt the resolution as written.
Thank you. Is there any dissent? All right, hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is adopted. All right, thank you. Next is we do have a resolution for Commissioner Bobby Lancaster, and she is not here, so I'm actually going to go to our final one, which is here. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to read this one again. So this is for a resolution honoring our dear friend and fearless leader, Commissioner Michael Ray, for his service to the ANC1E community. So whereas Commissioner Michael Ray was first elected to the Advisory Neighborhood Commission in 2018, beginning his distinguished public service in ANC1A before transitioning to serve ANC1E. And whereas over 3 terms as a commissioner, including his tenure as chair and Zoning, Parks, and Planning Committee Chair of ANC1A, and later as Treasurer and Zoning and Economic Development Committee Chair of ANC1E, Commissioner Ray has dedicated himself to the improvement and enrichment of his community in Washington, D.C. And whereas Commissioner Ray's leadership and vision have had a lasting impact on the Parkview, Pleasant Plains, Howard University, and Columbia Heights neighborhoods, reflecting his deep understanding of local issues, dedication to inclusivity, and responsiveness to resident concerns, all of which he has brought to his roles on both ANC 1A and 1E. And whereas throughout his years in service, Commissioner Ray successfully advanced over 50 resolutions and has spearheaded and supported initiatives essential to the well-being and development of the community, including championing issues such as pedestrian safety, zoning and development, support for small businesses, environmental sustainability, and affordable housing. Whereas as a highly engaged commissioner, Commissioner Ray has represented ANC 1A and ANC 1E on numerous occasions at the DC Council, providing thoughtful and impactful testimony that has influenced policy decisions on a range of issues critical to his constituents. And whereas Commissioner Ray has been particularly instrumental in policy discussions related to urban planning, public safety, and neighborhood preservation, where his expertise and advocacy have helped secure improvements in public health and safety measures. And whereas Commissioner Ray has consistently fostered transparency and communication, engaging his constituents through community meetings, frequent updates, and open dialogue. And whereas Commissioner Ray's commitment to keeping residents informed and encouraging civic engagement has strengthened the relationship between the ANC and its community members, fostering an inclusive atmosphere where all voices are heard and respected. And whereas Commissioner Ray's public service goes beyond formal resolutions and council testimony, as he has shown genuine care for his constituents by being accessible and available to assist with both personal and community concerns. And whereas Commissioner Ray's kindness, approachability, and dedication to helping his neighbors exemplify his character and commitment to his role as a commissioner. Therefore, be it resolved that ANC 1E formally recognizes and expresses its deep appreciation to Commissioner Michael Ray for his exceptional service, his leadership in ANC 1A and ANC 1E, and his unwavering dedication to improving the quality of life in the neighborhoods he represented. Further, be it resolved that ANC 1E acknowledges the lasting impact of Commissioner Ray's contributions and celebrates his legacy as an advocate for the community. Further, be it resolved that ANC 1E recognizes Commissioner Ray for his work building a foundation for future commissioners and community members to continue fostering a vibrant, inclusive, and resilient neighborhood. Commissioners, any questions or comments?
Well, I'll just again reiterate what Commissioner Gallagher said, that it has been a pleasure to work with you as the chair. One, so that I didn't have to do it for the last 2 years, but you've done a remarkable job. And to be honest, I know the reason I keep doing it and kept doing it is because I like working with the commissioners. I mean, I find that all of you are really dedicated public servants. You know, in a way that the council is not. You know, we are, I know, on the ground, on the front lines, you know, trying to deal with people and personalities that can be challenging many times, and try to come to some, you know, resolution that, you know, makes the community a better place to live in. And we're all, you know, we're all right here. You know, you're all just down the street from me. So I really enjoyed working with all of you, and I know I will continue to be engaged with all of you, and look forward to that too. But thank you very much for this. It's really a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be able to present this with you. And really, I mean, I talked to a number of people in writing this, and talking to people from 1A and also in 1E, and it's just, you know, your reputation precedes you. You've had an amazing impact on the community, and God, 3 terms, I'm sure it went by extraordinarily fast. But you've done and accomplished a lot in that time, and so thank you for everything you've done. And I agree that while you may not be a sitting commissioner, you will be very engaged and participating in stuff next term, and we thank you for that. All right. If there are no other questions, I'll probably ask Commissioner Newland or Commissioner Gallagher if there's any motion that you would like to make in support of approving the resolution honoring Commissioner Michael Ray for his service to the ANC 1E community. Commissioner Gallagher.
Beat you to it, Commissioner Newland. I motion with unanimous consent that we adopt the resolution as currently drafted.
Thank you very much. Is there any dissent? All right, hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is adopted. All right, so we have one more resolution. Unfortunately, Commissioner Lancaster could not join us, but it is a resolution thanking her for her service And for the sake of time, I will present. Did I pull up the wrong one? I did. I pulled up the sheet.
That's yeah, it's 83.
Yeah. There's very similar wording and emphasizing her her tenure since January of 2023, bringing a lot of her knowledge around education and community engagement and around neighborhood improvements, and the work that she did with Africa on the Avenue and helping them to make sure that they could have a successful event. Any questions or comments on this resolution?
I'll thank Bobby. You know, she basically took over the other portion of my SMD, which, you know, is it's always a challenging area. And I am looking forward also then to Audra Grant coming on board to take that on, because I know Audra has been in the community as equally long as Bobby has, and so is very well knowledgeable about all of the issues. So, you know, we've had a good run, and it will be in good hands going forward. So looking forward to working with them. Thanks.
You. If there are no other questions, I'll accept a motion to adopt the resolution.
I make a motion with unanimous consent that we adopt the resolution honoring Commissioner Bobby Lancaster.
Thank you very much. Is there any dissent? All right, hearing none, motion passes and the resolution is adopted. All right, I'm going to pull up the agenda. I will just note that the other piece of the resolution, and I have not opened it yet, but I am going to frame it and we're going to get what signatures on it, and I am going to put them in the mail and send them to you. So please look out for these resolutions. They may be in very small print, so I can get them in one page, but let me see what I can do. But they're coming. And I expect to see them on your walls. Yes, yes, perfect.
Over
there. All right. Well, that is all the official business that we have for this evening. Is there anything else that commissioners would like to discuss? All right. Hearing none, I'll now accept a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn with unanimous consent.
Is there any dissent? All right, hearing none, the motion passes. And so before we all depart, I'll just add that, you know, as we had mentioned, this is the last meeting of the ANC for 2024. And it is the last ANC meeting for this term, which is the first term of the newly created, I guess not so newly anymore, ANC 1E. And I want to just thank you all so much for an amazing 2 years, and you know, making this so much fun and actually doing some really great work in the community and actually being able to see some of that tangible change. I look forward to working with you all in some capacity moving forward in January. And with that, the next time that we will be meeting is Wednesday, January 22nd. During that meeting, we will I'll do the similar beginning of the term and beginning of the calendar year activities like electing officers and things of that nature. So if there are, I know that there's about 2 months where we'll not be meeting. And so if members of the public have any concerns or there are issues, it doesn't mean that the ANC is not here. We clearly will be here and are responsive. And so please do not hesitate to let us know if there is something that needs to happen. You know, we do have the ability to have call special meetings, something of that nature if need be. So we will still be here and we are still operating. We just don't have anything scheduled until the end of January. So with that, everybody, Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we will talk soon.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye all.